cat turning them back on. I've been here all my life and I ain't going nowhere. I'm going down with the ship. When I leave here, when I leave this planet, I won't have anything else to give them. They're going to say I left it all in Detroit. Because I'm not trying to go to Washington. I ain't trying to go to Lansing. I'm trying to stay right here in the deep. With you all. Yes, sir.
Now, with all that being said, you sound like so much of the Detroiters, sir. And we already know that you got sheriff in 3 weeks licked, because we're gonna make sure that happens. You probably be the biggest vote getter, as usual, right?
I don't know about that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, my question is, are you going? We got problems in the city. The grassroots have problems in the city, and there's all kinds of offers on the table being made. Okay. And we made some mistakes in the past, okay? But we want to know right now, I mean, if possible, at least a little head nod or wink or whatever else, how are you going to run for mayor? We really need you to
Let me just say this.
Okay, wink while you're saying it.
No. See, one thing, you know, I'm at the point in my life where I just tell it like it is.
Okay.
Y'all know how that, you know how that feels, don't you? Okay. See, you understand. I just tell it like it is. You know, I don't, you know, I am finishing this term for sheriff.
Okay.
And as soon as I get that question every place I go.
Okay.
So it would be disrespectful for me to not consider it when Detroiters all over this community are saying, we need someone from this community who understands this community, who loves this community, who's been in this community, who understands what your problems are.
And been
lives in the community, pay taxes on it.
And we shouldn't have did that sheriff Benny thing earlier. Okay.
I ain't got that much energy. I'll tell you. I know.
That's a win. Okay. Did you win?
Is that good enough?
Did you win?
I'd like to ask you a question. If you listen to 102.7, there was a caller on the air, and he had a wanted for your arrest. Benny Napoleon was wanted for arrest to run for mayor.
Don't arrest me to do it, please. Look, that decision is going to be made by Detroiters. I'll be real honest with you with that. Because I have to feel, I'm going to talk to people like I'm talking now. And I'm going to do what I believe is best for this community based upon what you as Detroiters feel. If you feel that you need to have someone come in from another community who's never lived here, who's never gone to school here, if you feel that that's what you need, if that's what you need to make you feel good, then you can do that. And my commercial is going to be, you can get with this, or you can get with that. Yes, sir.
After all that being said, what is your stance on residency rules for police officers?
Not just police officers. Residency singularly destroyed this community.
It did. Yes, it did.
That I went to Lansing 5 times fighting against legalizing residency, allowing people to move outside this community. If you want to make your check here, you should live here. You should live here. And I don't believe that anybody should run into town. See, here's the example that I gave. I was police, so I can tell you this story. And this is just how true it could be. And I hate to pick on any community, but I picked on Howe. How many of you know anything about Howe?
I sure do.
Okay. I picked on Howe intentionally.
Right.
A person who lives in Howe, has lived there all their lives, could come to Detroit and apply for the Detroit Police Department. First time in the city of Detroit. Come back when they call you down and say, let's take the agility test. second time in the city of Detroit. Come back when they said, let's take the written test. Third time in the city of Detroit. Come in to take the physical agility test. Fourth time in the city of Detroit. Go through the medical examination. Fifth time in the city of Detroit. Go through the psychiatric exam. Sixth time in the city of Detroit. Then come for the oral interview, which is the final phase of hiring. Seventh time in the city of Detroit. Eighth time in the city of Detroit is the Detroit Police Academy. Only been in this community 8 times. And now they get out working the streets of this community, and that's all they know about it. Is 8 visits. There's something wrong with that. There's absolutely something wrong with that. And I fought that tooth and nail. It's wrong. It's just flat out wrong. So, to answer your question, not just police officers, firefighters, all city workers should live in the city of Detroit. We paying them. If it ain't good enough for you to live here, it shouldn't be good enough for you to take that check.
You got my vote.
Because I could have left, I retired 11 years ago. I could have left 11 years ago. In fact, I had a buddy of mine call me who lives in West Bloomfield. Most of my friends, like maybe a lot of yours, have moved outside of the city. And a very good friend that I used to drive to school every day. He called me up one morning. It was right after some bad news had come out about the city of Detroit. And I'll tell you what it is in a second. So he called me up. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I was retired, so I was half asleep. So he called me up and he says, Benny, he says, what's the most dangerous city in the world today? He said, what's the most dangerous place in the world today? I said, we're fighting a war in Iraq, man. It's probably Iraq. Why are you calling me at 7:30 in the morning and asking me that question? He said, what's the most dangerous city in America today? And I said, I just saw it on CNN. It was Detroit. So I said, okay, I saw the news this morning, it was Detroit. He says, let me ask you a question. Would you move your family to Iraq? I was like, okay, now you got jokes. Of course I would. So he said, then why are you still living in the city of Detroit when you could move? Why is your family still there? I said, because it's not what people think it is. You left, you ain't a Detroiter anymore. You don't understand what it's like. Of course they do. But the fact is, you know, that was something to throw on my mind. But I quickly rolled over, went to sleep, woke up and said, I'm staying in my house. I'm not going anywhere. But the point is, we have challenges, we know we have challenges, but the fact that you are here and there are things like this played out throughout the entire city. Every place I go in the city of Detroit, there are people just like you. I don't care whether I go to Brightmoor, I don't care if I go to Roosevelt Park, Indian Village, Russell Woods, I don't care where I go, go to the east side, there are folks like you in a room somewhere right now doing the same thing, saying we love this city. We're ready to fight for this city, we're ready to improve this city. But you need leadership you can trust. You need leadership you can trust. And you can get that, I promise you. Because you can get this. Way back. Absolutely.
I was wondering if there was any kind of programs that, you know, residents of the city that we could do like Homeland Security or, you know, be prepared for things that happen within our neighborhood.
We have, that's a great question and I have a great answer because I used to run Homeland Security for Wayne County. We have what is called a Community Emergency Response Team training. And that's where we bring in folks like you all and teach you how to prepare for yourself for an emergency for 3 to 5 days. It's a great program. I've been through it and I've been certified to teach it. And that's something that, considering that you all meet, Sheila, don't look at me like that. I've known Sheila since she was a baby. I used to take her to school. And she's gonna roll her eyes at me like, don't you say that, Benny. I'm older than you, so I can say it. Yes, if you all want it, I can arrange for them to come in and start training you. If you're willing to give 3 or 4 hours on any given night, it doesn't have to be Friday night. If the judge so allows it, you can use it for another night. We can bring the program in. They can teach you how to do it just to put it in perspective, if the people in New Orleans, when that hurricane hit, if they all been trained and prepared, overwhelming number of them would still be alive today. Because they're prepared for a disaster and an emergency. So it's important training, and we can get that for you. If you decide y'all want it, let Sheila know. And I'll make sure we'll bring it in for you, okay? Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I want to, how did we get into this mess about this bridge?
Okay, before I answer that question, where are you on that issue?
I don't want my money and my younger generation paying for a bridge.
Oh, yes on 6. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, yes, on six.
Oh, yes on 6. And then you don't have to worry about it. Here's what's happening with the bridge. And see, I don't understand the Republican Party. And I'll tell you why. Here's what they want to do. The governor wants to build this bridge. So I'm automatically against it if that's what the governor wants. Because there's got to be something wrong with it. If the governor wants to do it, I'm on the other side of that track because I'm a Democrat, so I'm just not there. Anyway, the way this bridge thing is set up now, the governor in Canada want to build a bridge. They believe it's going to make enough money to support itself. But we don't know that for sure because there's still another bridge there. Mr. Maroon, who owns the bridge, this current bridge, he wants to use his own money to build a bridge. So now normally the Republicans say, let other people do it, not the government. But this time they're saying, let the government do it as opposed to letting the private guy do it. So if you don't want us to build it, vote yes on 6. Just keep that in mind. Yes on 6
Because
and yes on 2.
My thinking my thinking
Judge, you
is,
got, okay, I'm sorry.
That was nice.
my thinking is that, first of all, we have this governor that doesn't care anything about other people. He sent half of his people that was working at his company over to China. Then he sold his business to the Chinese for $14 million. Okay, so then the rest of the people went over there. That man doesn't care. He doesn't care that who pays for that bridge. And the other thing is that Canada is willing for Michigan to help pay for that bridge.
Sure.
Because all of our oil and other things are coming from, we're buying it from
It's coming through there.
right, from,
Absolutely.
we are purchasing oil from Canada.
Yes. But
Canada is healthy, so why should we support?
do you know what most people don't know? Is that the state of Michigan has asked the Department of Transportation for an exemption so they don't have to use U.S. steel or Canadian steel. They can go get steel from China. They can get steel from any place they want. They don't even want to build it with steel from the United States or workers from the United States. They've asked for an exemption. And most of us don't even know that because it hasn't been posted. Sheila, yeah, okay, Sheila. Yes,
I
ma'am.
understand. I just want to ask you one thing
Yes.
before we wrap up.
Okay, she's telling me it's time for me to go. Y'all remember, she told me it was time for me to go. I'm willing to stay.
Don't even try it. I want to know what came to you to make you decide, and I could have asked you, but I really want to know this, to put that mobile command center up on Linwood and Davidson. Because when you did that, I knew the mobile command center, when you went out there and you did that and you put it on Linwood and Davidson. And to me, that was saying, I'm not the police, but I am the sheriff, but I'm gonna let you all know you don't scare me, and I'm coming. And I got this mobile right here, and Benny's back. So what made you do that? Because that made me feel good, because the neighbors said they thought something had happened, but you were there just to do it. What possessed you?
The lights had gone out in that community, and we were getting calls that people were afraid for their safety. So we moved the command post in, and I put all my resources into that small community area where the lights were out. And they had no problems for the entire 3 days that those lights were out because we were sitting there. Those are the kind of small things that I can do to help the communities throughout Wayne County, but predominantly in the city of Detroit. I do that in different parts of the city twice a week. I go to different areas of the city and I do that just to show a presence and give some relief to the Detroit Police Department. We're answering runs, we're picking up abandoned cars, we're doing a lot of things that Detroit just doesn't do on a routine basis because they're so busy. So we're really just trying to give the citizens a sigh of relief. I mean, when we park there, it's so amazing because we have people that will come in and, man, I was almost out of gas and I was afraid to stop, but I saw y'all sitting here, so I'm gonna come in here. I mean, women, all the time, they'll say, you know, I was so low on gas and I didn't know where I was gonna stop. I saw y'all sitting here, so I just felt good about coming in and get some gas at the station. It ain't a whole lot I can do, but I'm doing all I can. And that's what we commit to as your share.
One question, since you mentioned gas stations, this gas station, it's been on the news, on 7 Mile.
7 what?
On 7 Mile. Marathon, is it? Yeah, it's a little gang of kids, they say they own the station now, they just took over. You know, and I mean, they in there like 20 strong.
7 and what?
Salisbury Park. Salisbury Park.
So I'm going about there when I leave here.
They call it the Berg.
7 in Asbury Park?
Yeah.
Oh, that,
I mean, they swear, they
I promise you,
they can be routine things.
I promise you, that's over. 7 in Asbury Park? I promise you, that's over. Write that down. 7 in Asbury. I'm going back there when I leave here, and I'm going to introduce him to the sheriff. Really? All right, we'll see. I'm going to go back there when I leave here. 7 miles. Oh, I'm getting
Wrap it up, wrap it up.
All right, how many of you all have pencils or pens? I'll leave you my, oh, you got, oh. This is Director Nadine Nero. I always say she's my Nero hero. She's a hard-working person out of my office. You all have those pamphlets. If you don't,
There were some in your chairs. Sit down.
Yeah.
again, I can help you if you have a dope house. I can get to you quicker than Detroit can. So if you call me, trust me, I will take care of that. Way quicker than Detroit can do it because I'll respond very quickly to that. I can also take care of any after hours locations that you might have in your community. Call me with those. Drag racing, we put an end to that. We had people coming in our community from all over the country. Drag racing on the streets. We just took 9 cars. They belong to me now. They're very nice cars too. This is for the auction. We're gonna auction them off. So I don't know where we're gonna do it, but we're doing it. I mean, these cars are really nice too. Trust me. Don't drag race them. They'll say, I'm gonna give them right back. All right. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Have you been introduced?
I have not.
Come on up, please.
We have another person just before this gentleman.
Oh, is he gonna talk?